This is day 31 of designing a custom Lego set of my childhood home for my dad. That's what we're looking at here. And we got our 3 rules of the channel. 20-minute video every day, no editing, show some progress, and then just today I added a bonus rule. Let's yap. Honestly, I don't think this rule will go away because that's this channel. It's the second channel, right? It's behind the scenes. Um, if I did it at the same time every day, I'd probably just stream, and because I really want that community development, So um, anyway, leave a comment, say hi, come hang out, pull up your project you're working on. Today I want to yap about something, I don't know, a little bit different. Something like, while we work, by the way, but just like, I don't know. The topic, I'm like honestly even hesitant, like a little spooked to even like go about talking about it. Um, but it's about just like voice, you know? Just like, here, let me just start at the beginning. Um, I work a full-time job, right? Like I've got my day job, pays the bills. And honestly, I'm fortunate, like I feel like, yeah, it pays the bills. I don't have to worry too much. Um, Obviously, I can't go spend willy-nilly. I'm no millionaire. I'm not a tech bro. Um, I'm, just I feel like probably a pretty normal person. Um, but I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like I've got food covered. So at the end of the day, in terms of where the world's at, like I'm chilling. I'm American, I guess. So we're chilling. The vast majority of us are chilling for the rest of the world anyway. But anyway, the point was just that at the end of the day, I don't have anything to complain about, right? I've got a job. The thing that's tough for me is I feel like I have a job, but I feel like I sacrifice my voice for it. And I know people sacrifice a lot worse. So that's why I'm like, that's part of the reason I'm hesitant to talk about. The other is just like, oh, just worried, just worried. Which that's why I want to talk about this in the first place, is like, I feel like I can't at work, but even not at work, like it just on this channel, I like worry about what I talk about on just, even though I've got like 5 viewers, so it feels ridiculous. I still worry about like, what if someone from my job found this, watched it, and I lost my job as a result. Um, Obviously, I make no money from this. This is just passion project. And I'm sure it will be for a long time. So it's definitely a scary thought of like, what if something happened, Like, what if someone heard about this channel or saw it and was like, that's not allowed, or just didn't like something I said. Um, and that's just like, I think that's a tough thing for anyone. And it's tough for me because it's not like, that's just something I value so much. It's just freedom of speech, like just be able to say what I want to say and not worry about the consequences. And then it's like, in reality, I do have to worry about the consequences. Um, and you'd think, I don't know, I'm curious what y'all's experiences with it are. Mine, I went to, if you couldn't tell by the diplomas, I don't know if there are any, like, I don't know if they're easy to see back there, but I went to a super religious college. I won't dive into that, but like my family was religious. Like, long story short, my family was religious, or is religious. And so by the time I made my personal choice, like, grew up enough to be like, this is bullshit. um, Not saying everyone's is. I don't want to offend those out there that are religious, but for me, it was just not it, right? Like it just did not fit my values, didn't fit what I cared about, what I stood for, and ultimately, I thought it's just toxic. And so it wasn't for me, so I left. But I left the church, but unfortunately, this school was so religious that it meant that if I ever said my beliefs, then I was at risk of losing my education. And not only that, but it's like it would be on my record as kicked out of a school for an honor code violation. When it's like at other schools, honor code violations like plagiarism and you know, academic dishonesty and stuff. Here it was just I had different religious beliefs, you know, um, and so I lived in fear of that my whole college career. I had to like be careful about who I was open with, careful who my friends were, or really just like how much I told my friends. Um, I lost friends because of it when they found out that didn't have the same faith as they did. Um, and I was even fired, literally fired from a job, an on campus RA job over it. There's other things too, but in my exit interview, that was one of the reasons they cited for firing me. And looking back now, it's like, I would have had a clear, discrimination, religious discrimination lawsuit. Of course, I was like a sophomore in college. I just turned 18. Like, I didn't know shit, you know? So I kind of just pushed through, you know? You just keep moving because that's all you can do, you know? Um, so, yeah, long story short, the point of that was just that I spent a lot of those formative years of my life feeling silenced. Like, I just couldn't say what I wanted to say. I couldn't say what I believed. I couldn't be, which is so ironic because this place especially, they like to, and this religion likes to victimize themselves. They like to act like they're always the ones that everyone's persecuting, as they like to say. And so it was very, that part too always bugged me because I was like, no, you're the, maybe that happened, you know, decades and decades ago, but like at this point, they're the offenders, you know, they're the ones that are making an unsafe space for others, you know, um, due to their spiritual beliefs. So yeah, so that was a very tough experience for me. But the point was, I feel that even with my job now, my job is headquartered near there. All the leadership went to that university. Um, and so they um, they kind of think that like they kind of think that that's okay, you know, like they like say things that just shouldn't be said at work, at least, you know. They like mm, yeah, just make it not a good environment for anyone not of the same faith as them. um, just like my college, you know. And then with this channel, like I've been, that's one of the things I love about it is it just gives me a voice, you know. It's like that voice that I feel like I had to silence for a couple years. I feel like I finally have a spot to share it, you know. um, and in a way that doesn't like, I'm not silencing anyone else, you know. I'm not perpetuating the same issues that these institutions and people have uh, wronged me with, you know what I mean. It's like it's not a, hey, they did it so I'm going to do it. It's no, it's a, they did it so I'm never going to do it, because no one should have to go through that, you know. And I know people go through a lot worse, so it's like all things considered, um, I don't know, I always find it hard to like not even complain but just like discuss the more serious or negative parts of life or society because of that, at least openly. I think my partner would probably say I do it too much in private. um, but yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know, what's kind of been on my mind a lot recently. um, and so yeah, I'm even hesitant to think about it or talk openly here again, just in case someone saw it and I got in trouble, like lost my job or anything. Um, so I'm curious, like, what are y'all's experiences? Do you feel like your jobs make it so you have to watch what you say or not say certain things, or kind of just not necessarily be silent, but like, yeah, just like low key be silent, you know, like just not be who you want to be openly or say what you want to say openly, you know. Um, I'd be curious, is that like a common thing? Is it a corporate America thing or a corporate anywhere thing? Or is it like specifically my company and I got to get out of there because there's better elsewhere, you know? Um, yeah, I'm curious what y'all's experiences with this are. Um, so yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that except I hope no one else has experiences like that, but I know they're out there. I know at my university, for the record, is BYU. I think everyone's heard terrible things about it. They're all true and more. Um, I just hope I get far enough in my career that I can get away from the reputation of it before it gets even worse than it is now. Even now, it's tough when people like, I'm like, yeah, I went to, they're like, where'd you go to school? BYU. And then I get that look, you know, that like, oh, you know, and it's like, no, those same people that you think I am are the ones who made life hell for me for a long time. So it's like, I just don't want to be associated with that, you know. Um, and not just the people, but it's the institutions. I think that's what people don't realize is it's like it is institutionalized hatred. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get too negative. This is supposed to be like a fun, positive space, you know, like at the end of the day, I want this to be a good outlet that is just like stress relief, well, not added stress. So maybe I'll stay away from those kind of topics. But yeah, just that idea of voice, like everyone has a desire, like everyone has a human need to be heard. And I think everyone has a human right to be heard. Yeah, or maybe not even heard, but just like speech, you know, like just say what you want to say. And yeah, I guess some things need consequences, but like I think there's way too many consequences for harmless things that people say and do. So yeah, that's kind of my take on that. Um, and the more I'm like talking about that, I'm like, you know what? I do want this to be a fairly positive spot, you know, but I also want it to be real, you know. Um, and sometimes life's just kind of shit, and that's how I'm feeling right now. I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely go through waves, through cycles, um, man periods, like just of feeling really good, you know, feeling top of the world, energetic, excited, social, talkative, um, and motivated, like have a million goals and pick up a million uh, new good habits and all that. And then it's like kind of have a crash, not a crash, but just like then things get tough and negative, and it's hard not to just be super negative. And that's where I'm at right now. If you couldn't tell by the topic, I'm in that part of life or part of the cycle where it's just it's just tough. Everything just seems very hard and negative. It's hard not to be. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at now. Um, but yeah, like I feel like I had so much more I wanted to say about that previous topic. Maybe now I'm just worried about being too negative for y'all. So it's like filtering, and then I just nothing to say. Um, I guess one of the things I've been thinking about was like I do get worried that like I've been quiet for so long that it's like, what if I stop um, being like, what if I've forgotten how to speak my mind, you know? And like that spooks me. And if I haven't, it's like, how long until I do, you know? Again, like I won't comment on current politics because there's a lot there and a lot from both sides. Um, Not even both sides. I don't think there's like two sides. I think we're all trying to do what's best for ourselves, for our families, for the things we care about. And yeah, and I think there's just, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't think everyone, I think there's some people that are just in it for power. But I think that all of us humans, normal people, everyday people, the voters, are just in it for the things they care about, you know? And I can't blame them for that. And I think we all have very similar um, views or values. Like, it's like, how many people don't think family is an important value? Or how many people don't think that, you know, humans should, like, human basic needs should be fulfilled, right? Like, I don't know. I think, uh, I think for the most part, I have this fundamental belief that humans are good, that we want what's best for ourselves and each other. Um, and I think we're all just trying to figure out how to get there. Um, I think that's the difficult part. That's the hard piece to figure out is how, you know. Um, so yeah. But anyway, I guess the point was I think some of those things that are super important to me is voice, or one of those things that's super important to me is voice, and just being able to speak your mind, say what you want to say, not worry about repercussions. Um, and I think I'm missing that right now. Um, I don't have that right now, and I didn't have it through college, and I'm tired of that. um, I think that's part of the reason I like this YouTube channel. Like, obviously, there's shit you just can't say in public, but it's like I'm not trying to say anything crazy. Like, I'm just trying to speak my mind, you know. So it's like this gives me a platform to do that in a way that I don't have to worry. Um, like, there's no employer, no boss that like can say, "Yeah, I didn't like what you said, so you're gone." Obviously, they don't even say that. That's the other trashy thing. Is like it's never a you said this, you're gone. It's a oh, for some vague reason, you're gone. Um, and then you realize that it's because of what you said or whatever. And yeah, yeah. Like I even I'm like, do I even say that? But my boss today literally said like you. What did he say? He was like, yeah, I see people all the time that like have a tough time when managing people that have different religious values than them. And I was like that seemed crazy to me to begin with. And he was trying to give it as a compliment because one of my people on my team is very super religious of the religion that like I left, right? And it's like I've obviously got trauma from that institution and from, you know, these institutions he really values. But it's like again, those like that those are his beliefs. Just like I want someone to like I want everyone to or not everyone, but want people to respect my beliefs. They don't have to agree with them. I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for like some human decency, right? And it's like in the same way, like hell yeah, I'm gonna respect his views. You know, like how could I not? Like that's so hypocritical of not. Um, so like that was crazy to me that that was like seen as a compliment because it's like that should be like that's the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like you're congratulating me for not religiously discriminating against my own employee who's like a good employee. So it's like what even if they weren't, like still, you're applauding me for non-religious discrimination. So it's like, does that mean that's normal in your like expectations? You know, like I don't know. I'm still just baffled. Like, what is the expectation there? You know? Um, so it's like I'm just trying to get out of that. I just don't want to be any part of that. I don't think it's just this company. I think it's a lot of just corporate America or corporate anywhere, right? Like I think it's a lot of just um, a lot of just Like when you have a boss, like they're human, but they like to act like they're not. And that's a 20-minute timer. But yeah, I think voice is super important. I think it's important to hear people out and to give everyone space to say what they believe and live their beliefs and not have fear of repercussion. And unfortunately, I think we're far from that in today's world, but I don't think it has to be that way. Alrighty, have a good time, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.